Psalm 41, God's care for the merciful and the suffering. Psalm 41 in the Book of Psalms serves as the concluding psalm of the first section of the Psalter and brings together wisdom teaching, personal lament, and doxological praise. It reflects on God's care for the vulnerable, the painful reality of betrayal, the seriousness of sin, and the sustaining grace that upholds those who trust in Him. The psalm moves from instruction about righteous living, into personal suffering, and finally into confident praise of God's enduring faithfulness. It begins with a wisdom principle that highlights God's favor toward those who show compassion to the weak. The one who acts thoughtfully toward the poor is described as blessed, not merely in terms of material reward but in terms of divine preservation and support. The psalm suggests that mercy shown toward others reflects a deeper alignment with God's own character. The promise that God will sustain such a person, even in weakness or illness, emphasizes divine care that extends through physical, emotional, and spiritual affliction. Rather than guaranteeing uninterrupted prosperity, the focus lies on God's sustaining presence during hardship. The tone then shifts into personal lament, as the psalmist acknowledges sin and appeals for mercy. Healing is sought not only for the body but for the soul, indicating an awareness that suffering is not merely external but also spiritual in nature. Confession is directed to God, reflecting a personal and direct relationship in which restoration is sought through divine mercy. The psalm then turns to the painful experience of betrayal, describing opposition from enemies and the deep wound caused by a trusted companion who turns against the psalmist. This rupture of trust highlights the fragility of human relationships in a broken world and underscores the depth of emotional suffering involved. This betrayal has also been understood within a broader interpretive tradition as anticipating later patterns of innocent suffering and betrayal, particularly in the life of Christ, though its immediate context remains David's personal experience. In this way, the psalm holds both a historical grounding in personal lament and a wider theological resonance concerning righteous suffering. The psalm then moves into a plea for restoration and vindication. The request for healing and lifting up is not rooted in personal vengeance but in a desire for justice to be rightly established under God's authority. Restoration is sought so that righteousness may be vindicated, with confidence that God is the one who ultimately upholds moral order. Assurance of divine favor is expressed not as a reward for perfection, but as evidence of belonging to God's care and sustaining grace. The final verse of the psalm breaks into praise, blessing the God of Israel who is faithful from everlasting to everlasting. This concluding doxology marks the end of the first book of the Psalter and reinforces a key theological pattern: lament does not end in despair but in worship. God's covenant faithfulness is presented as enduring beyond suffering, betrayal, and human failure, ensuring that praise is ultimately the final response of faith. Taken as a whole, Psalm 41 presents a comprehensive vision of life before God: compassion toward others, awareness of personal sin, experience of betrayal and suffering, and unwavering trust in divine sustaining grace. It teaches that divine blessing is not defined by the absence of hardship, but by God's faithful presence through it, leading ultimately from lament into enduring praise.
Psalm 41 to the chief musician, a psalm of David. Blessed is he who considers the poor. The Lord will deliver him in time of trouble. The Lord will preserve him and keep him alive, and he will be blessed on the earth. You will not deliver him to the will of his enemies. The Lord will strengthen him on his bed of illness. You will sustain him on his sick bed. I said, Lord, be merciful to me. Heal my soul, for I have sinned against you. My enemies speak evil of me. When will he die, and his name perish? And if he comes to see me, he speaks lies. His heart gathers iniquity to itself. When he goes out, he tells it. All who hate me whisper together against me. Against me they devise my hurt. An evil disease, they say, clings to him, and now that he lies down, he will rise up no more. Even my own familiar friend in whom I trusted, who ate my bread, has lifted up his heel against me. But you, O Lord, be merciful to me and raise me up, that I may repay them. By this I know that you are well pleased with me, because my enemy does not triumph over me. As for me, you uphold me in my integrity and set me before your face forever. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. Amen and amen.